All right, let's continue the conversation around this Phala panel report, and we speak now to the ANC's head of presidency, that's Sibongile Besani, who sits in the president's office at Luthuli House. Mr. Besani, good morning to you. I don't want to assume for a second what is going on in the ANC, but more importantly, the man of the moment. Where is the president, and when might he address South Africans on this issue?
Good morning, Chloe, and thanks once more for having me. The president, of course, is indeed in the country, and I think he's in Cape Town. Yeah, if that is the question.
Yeah.
And then maybe I should start off by saying, because we know what we are dealing with quite right now. At the political level, the NEC, there's a special NEC later this evening. And I think any other political matter will be ventilated at that point in time. But we once more, as we have been saying, especially on your program, Toli, want to indicate that the president has on many occasions assured South Africans that if there is anything that he would not do is to undermine the constitution and the laws of the country. And in every situation where he has been, he has followed everything in line with the laws of the country. And that is why even some of the legal issues that he faced with, he ensured that he complied, he cooperated with the institutions that were investigating him. And he has gone at length to demonstrate that the issues that we are facing, they are not only legal, they are also ethical. So, and he maintains that kind of line.
Yeah.
He's a president who will respect the laws of the country, who will, if he feels aggrieved, he will follow the processes, the laws of the country. He will respect the constitution.
Mr. Besani, I don't think I need to stress the importance of what this panel has done on the credibility of the president when it comes to the question of political morality, because that's the ticket on which the president ascended to office, the question of political morality. At a time like this, is the president thinking of stepping aside at all?
But the president has issued the statement that he is going through the contents of the report and so on. And with regards to the panel, the president has indicated many a times that he will cooperate with them, and he has done so without failure. He has shared with him what he knows, and the panel has made its findings. And I think one of the issues that must be understood is that the president has always maintained that for the renewal of the ANC, you need to respect the constitution, you need to respect the laws of the country. And beyond that, the African National Congress has always preoccupied itself with issues of ethical leadership since President Ramaphosa has been the captain of the ship of the African National Congress. So there is no doubt about the fact that the president remains committed to that line.
Mr. Besani, this has implications for the running of government. And I'm saying this because of a decision that has been taken as early as this morning. He was supposed to appear before the National Council of Provinces. That's where the executive, which is led by the president, accounts. He has cancelled that engagement. The understanding is that he probably is going to be at this NEC meeting that is being convened on an urgent basis tonight. How is the president planning to navigate this issue in terms of government? Because the opposition parties are already saying he does not have the credibility. If anything, he probably is going to be interrupted at every platform, because as the understanding, at least on their part, is that the president has a case to answer on what happened at his farm.
Well, look, if you are faced with issues that are legal in nature, the best way to navigate is to use the laws of the country. You would remember even the panel has indicated that they came to what I would call conclusions which are not conclusive, based on the fact that they had a very narrow terms of reference, and the fact that there were many questions that were left unanswered, the fact that this is a preliminary report. Now, you navigate such waters through the legal process that Parliament has put in place. But the President takes the work of government, the work of the state quite seriously. That is why he needed, because he understands the implication of this preliminary report. He understands it. That is why he felt that he needed to look at it so that he can favor the country with his views. And he can give the ANC, his organization, that whom he is a deployee, an opportunity to discuss it.
Mr. Besani, there's no two ways about this, sir. And that is that the calls for the president to step aside not only come from opposition parties, they are coming from within his cabinet. Minister Sisulu was the first to say the president must step aside. He must go. Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma was on another platform last night, and he uttered exactly the same words as Lindiwe Sisulu. This call is growing. You have the Deputy Minister of Public Enterprises, Phumulo Masualle, who has been talking the same language. And again, I emphasize the question around stability in governance. Is this something that worries the President, and what does he plan to do about it?
Look, whatever views of people inside and outside have at the moment, that does not erode the fact that President Cyril Ramaphosa has demonstrated in more than once, in more than many times, that he will abide, cooperate with institutions that investigate him. And that is the point that is very important to South Africans, that here you are dealing with a man of integrity who respects the Constitution and who will abide by the rules of the country. And indeed, if there's any person who understands the implications of findings that are untoward, it is President Cyril Ramaphosa. And I think it's an area that the country has been favored with several times, that President Ramaphosa has demonstrated that he's not above the law. And that is what we want the South Africans to understand, and at least to appreciate that we still have a president in this country from the ANC that respects the Constitution and the laws of the country. So what the other people are saying, for us, is neither here nor there, because it does not remove, because there is evidence that President Ramaphosa has cooperated with every institution that investigated him. President Ramaphosa, when he felt aggrieved, he followed the law, and he has done so without any favor, and understanding that in as much as he is the first citizen of the country, he is subject to the law. So that is the point that we want South Africans to do. And even on this matter, President Ramaphosa will hold that particular line. He has never demonstrated any sense of undermining the law, even undermining the African National Congress.
Mr. Besani, it's probably a final question, but I've got to challenge you a little bit on the question of integrity. It's one thing cooperating with law enforcement agencies, as the President should, if we are all equal before the law, but integrity is a completely different matter. I just want to extrapolate from what the content of this report had to say on this particular element. And it says, and I quote, "The President does not have personal knowledge of the source of the foreign currency either." This is the money that was found at his farm. And I want to jump right to the last sentence of this paragraph, where it says, "The President has not told us why Mr. Ndlovu has not made any statement, nor has he explained to us why the buffaloes are still at his farm." These are the buffaloes that were supposedly purchased. Is that a man of integrity?
Yes, it is, in a sense that because you are extrapolating questions that even the panel says they need to be answered. There's a range. If you read the whole, I was avoiding to go through to just ventilate on the whole panel findings, except what the panel has said. In setting the basis, the panel has indicated that this is a preliminary report, and there were a number of limitations with regard to how they arrived at that. That is what the panel has said. Part of those limitations are a number of questions. If they had the terms of reference that could allow them to go deeper to understand the situation, but they didn't have those kind of powers. So the panel is very clear about the limitations they were faced, what they couldn't find, the questions that they couldn't answer, the nature of some of the things that are hearsay and so on. So the panel has demonstrated a lot of things, but finally the panel says, look, with the little information that we have, this is what we can come to on face value, and we think the process of parliament is the one that can be able to even excavate further details and so on. For the president to cooperate with the panel, it demonstrates that this is a country of accountability. And that on its own is an indication that president remains a man of integrity under any circumstances.
Final question. When can the public expect the president to address them on this matter?
Look, we think it is better to also wait for a political process that the ANC, the discussions that will come from the NEC, and we think some of the things will flow from there. I think the president has indicated that he's going through the report itself. So things will flow from those kind of engagements and so on. So I cannot give the public to say president will be talking the next 2 minutes or 10 hours. No, I can't do that. But what is key is that the movement of the people, the ANC, has a meeting this evening to ventilate on the matter, and we believe that in the context of its renewal program, it will be able to provide guidance that is quite instructive on that.
Sibongile Besani,
on the matter.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. He is in the President's office at Luthuli House.